Hey YouTube, Patriotic Rottweiler again with the 1910. I was bush hogging last week, and when I got done, I always blow off the bush hog and the tractor with my blower, and found some liquid under the hood. Not a lot, but enough to, because it never leaked before anything. So I figured out what it was a bad water pump. So I've got that all removed, and then I removed the thermostat and found a little issue there, and I'll show you those in just a second. So let me scroll around here. Here's the old water pump, the blue one. The way you can really tell, of course, is there's a weep hole, and there'll be a little bit of coolant coming out of that. And also, when you grab the fan, the pulley part will move and vibrate. So you'll know that it's bad, especially whenever you have the fan on there. So I've got the new one. It's ready to go in. I'll be putting that in the next day or so. And while I was in there, of course, you got to remove the radiator and all the stuff in front of the tractor. So I cleaned that out as best I could, and that shroud goes on the radiator on the fan side, and I cleaned all of this stuff out as best I could. So I've got the new thermostat. I put my bolts and stuff in little bags, that way you keep it organized and you don't lose stuff. So here's the real meat and potatoes. So I have everything, I flushed everything, but the bigger problem after I got the water pump off is I found in the thermostat area, I found that basically the aluminum was starting to get corroded. So you can't get these parts anymore. You can't get the top part or the bottom part. I went to Ford to try to get that. I couldn't even get the gasket, so I ended up actually making that gasket myself. So since it was a very small bit of corrosion on the top part, as you can see right there, I ended up using some JB Weld, put that on there, shaping it and sanding it down and best I could to get it to where it had something, because it was almost, the corrosion was almost punched through the side. And on the bottom part, you can see where I did right in that area, that wasn't as bad. It was a big section, and I think a lot of the coolant was just going around the thermostat, to tell you the truth. So I JB welded that as well, and I did it as best I could. So I hope that it'll work, but of course only time will tell. So of course, while I'm in here, I found a couple things, and I gotta give a shout out to another YouTuber there, Avery. And so I did what he did. I pulled out, or I tried to drain the engine block, and as you can see, it didn't break off, it unscrewed, but it is definitely corroded to where it's really not serviceable. And even if I wasn't even able to get the little T-handle to turn, and even if I was, it was so packed with corrosion in the actual tube, nothing would have come out anyway. So instead of doing that and fighting with that, I went ahead and got a 3/8 piece of NPT pipe, a 3/8 by 2 inch, and that's screwed into the block, and that's no problem. I got some anti-seize on there, and I screwed that in good with an end cap, with a 3/8 end cap, and you should be able to see it right there. So while I was also in here, this plastic pipe right here is for a vent. It's on that vent tube. So that piece was falling apart. Of course, you can't have plastic that lasts for 40 years. So I got a piece of 5/8 tube, rubber tube, and I've got that going down towards the starter to be able to vent the valve cover. So this is just the first part. Of course, I'm going to start putting everything back together, and I hope that it will that will fix everything. The most tools that you really need is just a 13 millimeter. That takes off almost everything having to do with the coolant system. The water pump, the thermostat housing, I mean, that's most of what you need. Anyway, so that's the latest video. Wish me luck. And if you check out any of my other videos, or if you know anything else about this, or especially that thermostat housing, please let me know in the comments. All right, thanks.